Hello, tune in, turn on. It's Carla Sanders, Diva Carla, I'm called. And I am feeling compelled to talk about self-love and what happens if you ain't got none. And it's my intention to keep this to 5 minutes. I even set a timer, so if the timer goes off, I'm getting the hook. So this comes up for me. It's been churning for a while, but it came up because there's a meme going around, or maybe I read an article that, quit telling people that nobody will love them if they don't love themselves. And I said, well, that's what, how not having any self-love will fuck you up, because that's not what it means. It means you cannot love another unless you love yourself. And I learned that in Sunday school. And I've been learning it ever since. And then I was talking to somebody, I forget even who, somebody around here. I know, she said, I know I can love somebody else without loving myself first, because I do. And I said, oh my God, we need to work on this. We need to set some things straight. So I've got a quick little list and notes. Maybe I'll get through them all, but basically just to talk about, to set the record straight. This is the law we're talking about. This is the way the world works. And why do you need to love yourself? Why is it so important? Well, first of all, if you don't have self-love, what do you have? You've got armor, a shell, protection. Nothing goes out, nothing comes in. The other thing is you can have a black hole of emptiness. There's nothing there. It's vacant. You're empty. Or the other way it can show up, or it may show up in all three ways, is a cesspool of not enough, of self-loathing, self-hatred, and all the monsters inside that will show up that way. And because there is no vacuum, even the blackness, this emptiness is not a vacuum. And so what happens if you are living, your relationship to love and yourself is expressing in one of those ways? You send out love because love feels good. Ask me how I know this. I learned the hard way that I was loving and loving and loving, and it felt great, and it wasn't coming back to me. The people I was loving were not loving me, literally. So that's one of the things that happens. When you are not having any kind of self-love and you send love out, first off, you get depleted, emptied, because you're giving from an empty place. You dried up, sick, hurt. It's hard. And then the second thing that can happen is you send your love the wrong places. Because there are people who, they like it that you love them. And they range from, oh, cool, I've got a fan. She loves me. She likes me. I need that. To pathologically dangerous people who will prey and really hurt you. Use that love and your emptiness to hurt you badly. So those two things happen. And the third thing that can happen is projection. You send out the rockets of love, the beams of love. You have a person you love, or a situation, a community, but usually a person. And you want them to love you back because you are empty and you deserve it and you gave them all that love, and why aren't they loving you back? And they may like you, they may not. They may be unwilling, unable, uninterested in loving you. They may love you a certain way, but you want them to love you another way. Either way, it gets really, really messy, hurtful, painful, and it reinforces your emptiness and your self-loathing rather than being love. So that's one way. And then the other thing is that there are people out there who do love you, but if you have no place for that love to land, all it does is stir up. It bounces off the armor. I can do this myself. I don't really need love. I can love without loving. I can love without receiving back. I'm altruistic like that. Or it triggers the self-loathing, the self-hatred, and then you get really mixed up. Does this person hate me or do they love me? They're loving you. But you got no place to put it. So these are the things that happen when you are loving and you do not love yourself. And this is incredibly challenging in relationships, and it affects business, because these same kinds of situations can get projected out when you're in your marketing, in your clients, in the people who say yes, the people who say no, the people who, people bring their stuff, and your stuff needs to be clear in order not to be triggered by their stuff and to see it for what it is. Are they a good client to work with you or not? Nothing about their quality or their value as a human being. Is it a match? And the same with love. Is this a match? Or is this a toxic disaster waiting to happen? So that's, is there anything else I had to say about love on that? Oh, this is the biggest one of all. The reason all that shit happens around self-love, when you don't have it and you're projecting it and looking for it outside, you're having other people do a job that belongs to you. Once you're an adult, loving yourself is your job. It's your number one job. And it cannot be, what's that word we use? Oh gosh, it can't be delegated to someone else. And even before adulthood, childhood, phases of childhood, adolescence, that's a time when we're supposed to be practicing self-love. And unfortunately, it happens so seldom in our culture. So we grow up wounded and hungry and spending our adult lives trying to clean that mess up, because it is work. Some of us, maybe you could snap your fingers and say, "Oh, I love myself now. I'm just going to turn it around and love myself and love from a full cup, a full bowl." Or you're going to have to work at it. Healing, clearing, practicing, and however you need to work on it. Usually with guidance. 99% of the time with guidance. That's the end of it. So here's what I'd love. I'm going to close this off. My sweetheart's just come down, so I think it's date night. Avengers. Yes, superheroes for me. You all are experts on that. Let's have the conversation right down here in our little community, our little forum that we have. And I'm about to go out to the movies, but I'll check back in this evening and tomorrow and join the conversation. Great to see you. Bye-bye.